our Luxaflex Luminette privacy shears. Now, the Luminette is probably, I guess the top of the tree when it comes to our soft shade product. Is another patented window covering product that provides quite a unique take on light and privacy control. The sheer curtain or the sheer fabric face of that product diffuses the light coming into the home. Then you have soft fabric veins that you can rotate for privacy and light control. So it is really a curtaining product and a blind product in one coming together to give you a very unique product. It's an ideal product for larger windows and sliding glass doors. Very much a product that lends itself to being face-mounted, floor-to-ceiling type scenario rather than any other scenario. Doorways, large floor-to-ceiling glass windows where you still need to retract the shade. Obviously, this is a product that's suitable for that application. So Luminette privacy shears are available in a large variety of fabrics, and they come in a variety of on-trend colours, ranging from neutrals, subtle beiges, subtle greys, all the way through to some bold, striking colours in the new revamped colour range that was launched last year. Now, all fabric ranges come in both translucent and a room darkening opacity. There is now one vein size, which is 89mm, so that's right across the whole range. Some fabrics also have a tonal backing, so you've got that uniform inside-outside look that some people are trying to create with window coverings in their home. So the translucent vein, obviously the vein diffuses the light. It creates a warm glow when those veins are closed, and it's ideal for living areas. It's letting light come in. It's making a very airy feel to the room. Obviously, you maintain your outside views when you open those veins and look through the shear, giving you privacy, but a lot of light filtering through those translucent veins. Then there's a room darkening vein. Now, these provide really good privacy and some good light blockout, but not total blockout. But they are suitable for bedrooms and areas of those, in areas like that. Luminette Privacy Shears has got an exclusive patented soft track scissor hardware system. It's a very smooth and reliable operation. Again, with the range review that happened last year, there were 6 on-trend hardware colours that were launched to coordinate with the wide variety of Luminette fabric colours. Now you can choose which hardware and track colour you want to coordinate with your fabric colour, obviously then to coordinate with the decor of the consumer's home. Now, with the fabric, I'm just going to pick up a little skin that we've got here because the fabric also comes with a fabric header. Just slide that up there a little bit further. So the fabric header is this top part here of the actual fabric skin itself. So this is all about something that will conceal that patented operating track system, as obviously as the Luminette Privacy Shear traverses along that the actual track. Track is a very low profile, sleek track, but obviously the header there just is a nice clean look and conceals that as well. Now Luminette Privacy Shears come with 3 child safety minded control systems. You have the wand and cord combination, the travelling wand, and obviously motorised with the PowerView technology. Now the PowerView technology, as you would know, is that wireless technology. The PowerView controlling the incoming light and the energy usage simply by pressing a button on the new PowerView remote, the Pebble remote, or through the hub and using the app on your mobile device. Really perfect solution for large or hard to reach windows and doors, because if the shade is mounted really high, obviously using the wand or the cord and wand, if it's a little bit out of reach, can be a little bit more difficult. So the PowerView technology, where you're just pressing the button, can be the perfect solution in those circumstances. There's no cords, there's no unsightly wands with the PowerView technology. It's a nice clean look, and when we install the one behind me shortly, you'll see what I mean about no wand, no cords. PowerView for Luminette is only available with the 24 volt DC power connector. not available with a battery pack like our other soft shade products. You then have the combination wand and cord. Now this combines the tilting and the traversing functions into one control, where the cord actually comes down and loops through the wand to keep it child safe. This system makes opening and closing and rotating the vanes quick and easy. You pull the cord to traverse the shear and you twist the wand to rotate the vanes. The combination wand and cord is always on the stack side. So if you had a left-hand stack Luminette, then that wand cord assembly is on the left-hand side of the track. You then move to the travelling or the traversing wand, as we call it sometimes. This is perfect for situations where access to the stacked side of the fabric might be quite limited. Travelling wand, simple system, one-handed access. You simply push or pull the wand to traverse the product and you twist to rotate the vanes. Now the shading stacks on the opposite side to the wand with the travelling traversing wand. So if I've got a left-hand stacking fabric, the wand is on the right-hand side of the fabric, which is the leading edge or leading edge of the fabric. Travelling wand is not available with split stack operation. If you want split stack operation, you need wand and cord, or you need the power view control option. Now, when you're measuring for Luminette privacy shears, there's a couple of things to keep in mind. Obviously, the maximum width needs to be considered, and the maximum width for power view and the cord/wand is 4.875, so just under the 4.9 meters, very wide span. With the hand traversing wand, or the travelling wand, the maximum width is 3.660, so just under the 3,700 mark. Remember, we can't do split stack with the traversing wand. Split stack is power view and the wand and cord assembly only. Now this is a product which is ideally suited to face fit applications. Now our recommendation is that you would measure the glass, measure architrave to architrave, and you would add on 200 millimeters as a minimum. Obviously if you're ceiling to floor, you'd take that measurement and you would make a deduction of 16 millimeters. But the width is critical. With a Luminette, the end vane is not a full vane. If you were to fit this product in a reveal scenario, you will find the end vane not being a full vane will not give you the light and the privacy control that people are generally looking for. And the same if you're butting up two independent skins on two independent tracks, where those two shades come together in the middle. Yes, the sheer fabric will meet, but when you close, open and tilt those vanes, you will not have complete light and privacy control. If you want that, obviously maximum width is 4.875 with the power view or the cord and the wand. If you can do a split stack up to that size, you won't have a problem. They'll close in the middle and give you the light and privacy control. But when you move to two independent tracks, you will not have that privacy control. So just keep that in mind. There's lots of measuring deductions for corners and bays. The product will work well in corners and bays, but again, the shear will come together and meet, but you will have those light and those privacy concerns where each of those skins or shades meet in those corners. We're going to install our Luminette privacy shear here now quickly behind me. Again, wherever possible, this is a product to be fitted on face. If people have got a bulkhead or a recess and they want to fully insert the track and the fabric skin up into a recess, you need a mounting depth of 160 millimeters minimum. But if someone is building a bulkhead or a pelmet, our recommendation would be tell them to allow a depth of 200 millimeters. That will give your installer plenty of room to work with the track and clip on the fabric skin and won't provide any issues from that perspective at all. Now before we install this shade, I just want to talk through some of the options from an installation perspective. I'm going to pick up a couple of bits and pieces here and talk them through. When you're face fitting, if the shade needs to be built out to clear something that's on the window frame or on the wall, obviously you can use spacer blocks. Now these are 13mm spacer blocks. They're a pretty standard sort of product or component that we use in our soft shade product range, and they will sit on top of each other and they get screwed to the wall. Now you can use a maximum of 5 of those at a time. You can also call up what we refer to as an extension bracket. Now again, this extension bracket will allow you to bring the product out from the wall, but it then provides a ceiling type mount. The standard brackets that come with the Luminette from the US are face mount brackets. If you want the ceiling mount bracket, which I have here, you need to specify that and ask for that on your order form. So if you're building out with the extension bracket, you then need the ceiling mount bracket to be fitted to that extension bracket to mount your track into. The standard face mount brackets are 2-part brackets. You have a base plate. Now the base plate has got 2 little prongs on it. In a scenario here where I'm fitting it on face, I'm not going all the way up to the ceiling, I can snap them off, which I've done. But if you were fitting on face and you were taking the shade as close to the ceiling as you can, actually leave those in place, because they're your guide to not mount that bracket too high. That gives you the clearance so that the shade doesn't actually hit the ceiling or the cornice that might be above it. So that's the backing plate that gets fitted first. You'd then come along and you'd clip on the second part of that bracket, which clicks on, and then our track sits into it. And we're going to do that shortly. So they're the different brackets and the different fittings. Okay. So what I've got here up on our installation house is I've already pre-fitted my base plates. I've measured and I've actually mounted these brackets so that the measurement that I've taken lines up with the top of the bracket. This is only a very short Luminette, so it's not going to be down to the ground anyway. But I would be measuring from there. If I was going to the floor, I'd measure to the floor. And as I said, I would take off that 16mm deduction. I've got those fitted. I'm going to come along and I'm just going to click on my front part of that bracket to enable me to come along with the track and click it in position. So they're both clicked on. I'm going to come back out the front and talk to you about the track just for a quick second. As I said, this is a PowerView Luminette track. You get the track obviously separate in the packaging. You'll have the fabric skin rolled around a cardboard cylinder. And then in another pack in the box, you'll have the motor and you'll have a little satellite eye. So when you get the track, the motor is not connected to the end of the track. It's very easy to connect it and clip it on. You really can't put it on the wrong way. It will only easily fit in one direction. I will just point out though, it clicks on nice and easily. If you're finding it's not clicking on easily, have a closer look at it. You could be trying to click it on in the wrong spot. But when you have got it clicked on, and for whatever reason, if you need to remove that motor, you need to release a couple of the little prongs that hold it in place. Don't just grab the motor and try and rip it off. You will probably break some part of it. But here on the track here, you'll see a little spring-loaded release there with a little small flat screwdriver. If you release that, it'll release those 2 prongs and the motor will just come off. So easy to put on, easy to release, but don't force it. So what I'm going to do now, I've got obviously my brackets in place. Now these brackets have got a little screw at the bottom of the bracket. That needs to be undone a little bit and then pushed up. Now that we focused there we are. So there's a screw underneath there in the bracket. Loosen that off, push that up, and it pushes this little wedge here. It just pushes it up so that I can pop the track back inside. And then when I've got the track sitting in there, I'm going to come along with the screwdriver, tighten that up, and it pulls down the wedge to lock onto the track. So come along with the track, and it's a pretty, sits sort of nice and easily. This is only 2 brackets. It's a small track. If you've got a long track, and you'll find that obviously they may not all be lined up perfectly. You've got a little bit of flexibility and a little bit of twist in the track, so it's usually not a huge issue, but getting those brackets lined up as best you can is probably an important thing to do. So we've got that in position. Now, before I tighten those screws up, I'd probably look at that track and think, well, is it exactly where I want it? I do have the ability to move it a little bit because it's just sitting in there loose. So I'd move it and get it centered to where I want it to be. Then I'd come along with my hand screwdriver. And I do recommend a hand screwdriver for this part, so you can feel the amount of tension you're putting on that screw. Just pull those wedges down. Now that track is nice and secure. It's not going to go anywhere. It's locked into position in those brackets. This is the Motorhead. Not a very big motor. It's fairly small actually, but it's quite powerful. It's got the cord on it, which I'm going to plug into my DC adapter, which you might see here. We've already run the power. We've had an electrician come out in the home. He's set the actual DC power pack, plugged it into a GPO up in the ceiling, and he's run the cord down for me through the wall, and it's come out just here, ready for me to plug into my Motorhead. You'll also see on here, have this satellite eye here. Now this will come separate. It'll be in the packaging with the motor, but it needs to be plugged in. You'll see a whole series of wires here. So that needs to be plugged into that port. And we've just used a double-sided tape. And this is a satellite eye. It's also the manual operation button that you can use and that you certainly need to access when you're pairing a remote to the Luminette PowerView. So, as I said, you really can't put that on the wrong way. It will only line up in one position. So find its position, click it into place, and it's done. I'm going to connect my power. Trev, I'll just get you to, once I make that connection, I'll just get you to turn that on. Thanks, Trev. So that power is now turned on. And I can just press the button there. Obviously, you can probably see the track moving. So obviously, power's on and we're all connected. So the next thing we need to do now is come along and actually get our roll of fabric and actually click our fabric into place. Now, being PowerView here, keep in mind there is always one hanger or one hook to hold the fabric right in front of the motor. When the States relaunched PowerView for Luminette, they made some really good improvements to it, and we get good coverage and we get the louver that sits over the motor. We're actually driving and turning that louver as well. And go back a couple of years, that wasn't the case, but now it's certainly the case that we're controlling every louver to try and give us that nice uniform look that we like and that we sort of tell people about when we sell Luminettes. So I'll get Trevor to bring the fabric in. Leave the fabric rolled up on the cylinder. Now, I don't have gloves on, but I strongly recommend to any installer really clean hands and some nice disposable gloves. Now, throw the gloves away after you've used them. I'm going to come along now with my first hook, and I'm going to click the fabric into position. So, as I said, remember, there's always a hook at the motor head. Try not to miss a hook. If you get to the end and you've got one vein left over, you have to remove them all and start again. Lower that down a bit, Trev, the skin. It's too high. I mean, I have the luxury of having someone here to hold it and unroll it, which is always great. And certainly on a bigger skin, it becomes A little bit cumbersome, but it can be done by one person in most circumstances. All right, I'm good. So I've clipped on the fabric skin, one to each hanger, and I've got that there. See a bit of blue masking tape occasionally from the packaging from the US, but that doesn't damage the fabric. So I've got it hanging there. Now, obviously, you've got the swing tabs at the end of the track with Velcro. And then you have Velcro on the end treatment of the Luminette as well. So this Velcro attaches to the Velcro that's on the swing tab. Initially, just, line it up, pop it on. We can adjust that later. Same at the other end. I've got the swing tab. I'm just going to attach the Velcro. There's a bit of fine tuning when you're actually operating the shade and putting it in different positions to get that Velcro in exactly that sweet spot so you get nice control. We've already paired the remote, so I wasn't going to go through the process of pairing a remote. So it's paired. Now just going to run it along. And you can see straight away, if you look at that, it may not be completely visible on the camera, but not every vein is hanging perfectly, particularly the end ones. So this one here, I'm going to come along, going to remove that Velcro. I'm going to reposition it. That looks better already. And I can come along and do the same to this one, although that looks okay. Operate the shade a few times. So there you have the full functionality of, that's my power cord there that got in the way of that vein. So there you have your Luminette privacy shear, power view control, nice and easy. Once the electrician's been out and he's plugged that DC adapter up into the ceiling, into the GPO, and it's running down there, the installer comes along, track up, fabric up, plug it in, pair it to the remote, and it's really, really quite simple. So the Luminette privacy shear, fabric veins are 100% polyester. It's a really resilient, anti-static, dust-resistant fabric. Certainly, periodic cleaning is recommended to help keep that Luminette looking clean and looking new. And when you are doing any sort of cleaning on the Luminette, you leave that fabric skin hanging. Don't take it off. Unless there's a professional cleaning company coming in to remove that for either ultrasonic or extraction cleaning, there's no need to remove that Luminette in the home for vacuuming and cleaning. Dusting. As we know, polyester is a great product. It's inherently dust repellent and can handle obviously a bit of humidity, but dirt and dust on any polyester product is where we can start to have trouble if we don't keep them clean. So use a feather duster, regular light dusting, light handheld vacuum cleaner with low suction. You really don't want to be pulling and stretching the fabric with strong suction in a vacuum cleaner. You want to start in a corner and work your way across and then down. Short strokes, not big, long strokes with anything, because that can, as I said, can stretch and distort the fabric. If you're using brush attachments, which is not a problem on a vacuum cleaner, again, the trick is not big strokes and not too much suction. Spot cleaning. It's polyester. It's very durable. But spot cleaning just needs to be done carefully so again you're not stretching fabric. So I can see I just put my hand in behind here now, and if I had a mark there on the fabric with, a sponge with some very mild detergent, a bit of water, I can gently spot clean. And then I can pat it dry with a dry cloth. It's really simple to just rub a little bit, rub gently, and then a blotting action to actually take that excess moisture out of it. Let the shade dry. It's usually all that you need to do. Now there are, as I said, a couple of professional cleaning methods that the shades can be cleaned by. One of them is injection or extraction cleaning. Now again, this is done in the home. So this is where a cleaner, and there's a few cleaning companies around the country that can do this, they'll come into the home and they'll clean the shade in situ. They won't actually take it off the track. They'll do it when it's on the track and it'll be left to dry, and that's that. So it's actually a heating solution which is injected into the fabric and then extracts that dirt out in the same motion. Now you can use that extraction system for the translucent and the room darkening. There are also companies that do ultrasonic cleaning. Now, this is a process where the fabric is taken off the track, is taken away, and it's inserted or immersed into a tank of cleaning solution, and then it's subjected to high-frequency vibration, which dislodges the dirt and it gets carried away in the solution. Ultrasonic is fine for translucent fabrics, but the room darkening fabric is not recommended for. So again, there's professional cleaning companies that can do that service for you. But the key is keep them clean, dust, lightly vacuum. It's a vertical product, so dust predominantly won't settle on a product. And any spot that does happen to be, I guess, end up on there, getting to it quick with some mild detergent, bit of sponge, and blotting that excess water off is all that you need to do. So there you have our Luminette Privacy Shear. Like nearly all of our, I guess most of our products, and certainly our soft shade products, they look soft, they're elegant, they're a very formal product, but they are very durable. Polyester is easy to maintain with a bit of regular maintenance as well. That's the end of this session, guys. That covers Luminette.